Level 1. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass wears a Jeep badge, which means millions of people assume it can handle dirt roads, light trails, and maybe a muddy parking lot after a rainstorm. It cannot. The base front-wheel drive version has no business being near anything unpaved, and even the all-wheel drive variants are working with a system designed for light traction recovery, not actual off-road capability. Ground clearance sits at 8.2 inches. There is no low-range transfer case. The Compass exists because Jeep needed something to sell to people who like the idea of adventure more than adventure itself. The Trailhawk trim adds some real hardware, a rear axle disconnect, hill descent control, and slightly better approach angles. It handles light trails without embarrassing itself. But you are still driving a crossover on a Fiat-derived platform, and no amount of trail-rated badges changes that fundamental reality. The badge does most of the heavy lifting here. Alright, straight to level 2. Toyota 4Runner. The Toyota 4Runner has not been meaningfully redesigned since 2009. The 4.0-liter V6 makes 270 horsepower. The interior looks like it was styled during the first Obama term because it was. Car journalists dismiss it annually. Toyota sells every single one it builds. Here is why.
Why?
Body-on-frame construction, a proper low-range transfer case, solid rear axle geometry on TRD Pro trims, and a reliability record that makes other manufacturers uncomfortable. The TRD Pro adds Fox internal bypass shocks and a front skid plate. It will handle trails that strand other family SUVs while waiting for a tow truck. Resale values border on irrational. Used TRD Pros regularly sell above original sticker. A 15-year-old 4Runner with 200,000 miles is still a usable, capable vehicle. Nothing in this segment can make that claim with a straight face. It is slow, the interior is dated, and the fuel economy is embarrassing for the power output. None of that matters when you are 30 miles from the nearest paved road. Alright, I want to check out a real SUV now. Also, hit subscribe and comment below. Level 3. Land Rover Defender. The original Defender was a farm tool with doors. This one starts at $60,000 and can be optioned past $100,000, which tells you exactly where Land Rover repositioned the nameplate. But underneath the upmarket interior and the enormous touchscreen, the new Defender earns its badge in ways that surprise people who wrote it off as a luxury rebrand. Terrain Response 2 reads the surface and adjusts throttle mapping, transmission behavior, and stability systems in real time. The air suspension raises ground clearance to 11.5 inches on demand. Weight depth is 35.4 inches. That is deeper than the hood of most standard SUVs. The 90-body Defender posts a 38-degree approach angle. These are not brochure numbers padded for marketing. They hold up when the terrain gets serious. Land Rover moved to a monocoque platform instead of body-on-frame, which purists never fully forgave. It was the correct engineering decision. The platform allowed suspension travel and refinement the old body-on-frame layout could not match. But the debate has never fully closed.
Because I don't have a time. I don't talk to you. I have no time. You sit down. How can you sit down? How can I am sit down?
What is not debatable is the real-world capability, which sits well above anything at level 2 at the cost of significantly more money and significantly more electrical complexity to keep running. Level 4, think it can beat level 3's Defender, Mercedes-Benz G-Class G500. The G-Class has been in continuous production since 1979. The core architecture, 3 locking differentials, body-on-frame construction, boxy proportions that create terrible aerodynamics and genuinely do not care.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Has not fundamentally changed in 4 decades. Mercedes has spent that entire time making it more powerful, more comfortable, and more expensive until it became the default vehicle for a very specific type of wealthy person who may or may not ever leave pavement. The G500 runs a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, producing 416 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds from something that weighs nearly 5,400 pounds and has the aerodynamic profile of a garden shed. 3 locking differentials mean it genuinely does not care what surface sits beneath the tires. Approach angle of 31 degrees, breakover of 26 degrees, departure of 30 degrees. Numbers that would be respectable on a dedicated trail vehicle, not a 6-figure urban statement piece. A 4Runner TRD Pro will access terrain the G500 cannot reach and costs a third of the price. That is a true statement. It is also irrelevant to the people buying G-Classes, because the G-Class is the only vehicle on Earth that is simultaneously completely authentic off-road and completely at home outside a 5-star hotel. That combination does not exist anywhere else at any price. Things get interesting here. Next up, Level 5, Ram 1500 TRX. Stellantis installed a 702 horsepower supercharged 6.2-liter Hellcat V8 into a production pickup truck. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
Damn.
Quarter mile in the low 13s. Top speed of 118 miles per hour. It weighs 6,350 pounds. The EPA assessed a gas guzzler tax on it because the fuel economy numbers were too low to escape the penalty. This is a real thing that happened with a truck you can walk into a dealership and buy. The TRX sits 3 inches higher than a standard Ram 1500. Box 2.5-inch bypass shocks, 11.8 inches of ground clearance, skid plates that weigh more than some compact cars. It was built to humiliate the Ford Raptor, which it does in straight-line acceleration and in the sheer scale of its ambition. Baja racers paid attention to a production truck for the first time in years when TRX footage started circulating.
Shit. Got your ass.
Ford responded with the Raptor R, a 700 horsepower supercharged 5.2-liter V8 pulled directly from the Shelby GT500 and dropped into their desert platform. The Raptor's longer wheelbase and more dialed suspension tune give it an advantage in sustained high-speed desert running. The TRX hits harder off the line and sounds more theatrical doing it. Both are completely excessive. Both are completely correct. Neither one will fit in a standard parking space, which is their only shared limitation. Level 6 is where SUVs stop borrowing performance credentials and start generating their own. Level 6, Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. Porsche gave a 631 horsepower twin-turbo V8 to an SUV, pulled suspension components from the 911 GT development program, recalibrated everything, and sent it to the Nürburgring where it recorded a 738 lap, the fastest production SUV time on that circuit at the time of its release. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Top speed of 186 miles per hour from something with rear seats and luggage space. It weighs 4,630 pounds and handles with a precision that requires seeing it to believe. Air suspension drops ride height at speed to improve stability. Rear axle steering effectively shortens the wheelbase in corners. Carbon ceramic brakes handle repeated high-speed stops without fade. The entire package feels engineered rather than assembled. Every system working toward the same goal rather than compromising against each other. Traditional off-road purists dismiss it because ground clearance is modest and trail angles are unremarkable. That argument misses the point entirely. The Cayenne Turbo GT proved that SUV performance had a ceiling nobody had found yet, and then it found it. When an SUV laps a racetrack faster than supercars from 15 years ago, the conversation about what this category can do has to change. Level 7 does not compete with anything on this list. It is in a different conversation entirely. Level 7. Brabus 900 Crawler. Take a Mercedes G-Class, remove the drivetrain, install a twin-turbo V8 tuned to 900 horsepower, fit portal axles, a system where the wheel hub sits below the axle centerline, physically elevating the entire vehicle beyond what standard suspension geometry allows. Ground clearance exceeds 18 inches. The ride height is so extreme the car looks digitally altered in photographs before you realize it is not. Limit production to 15 units. Price it above $1 million. The crawler is not street legal in several countries without modification because the portal axles push the wheel track so far outside the bodywork that it exceeds legal width limits. This is the kind of problem that only exists when a vehicle is engineered so far beyond normal parameters that road regulations become a legitimate obstacle. The 900 horsepower is genuinely secondary to what the portal axles and suspension travel allow the car to do over terrain, a statement that applies to no other road-going vehicle in existence. Brabus built it because the question was asked, and German engineers interpreted that as a directive. It climbs obstacles that dedicated off-road race builds use specialized equipment to navigate. It does this while retaining air conditioning, leather seats, and the recognizable silhouette of something that started life as a production Mercedes. Nothing built in this quantity by a recognized coach builder goes further from pavement while remaining a vehicle in any conventional sense of the word. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comments which level you're at.